I might have one of that. Oh, we're live.
Hi everyone, sorry we're a bit late. We had some techie difficulties, which is fun and games. We're actually just right, it's working. We're just making sure that you could hear everything, and you can. What we'll do is we're going to do a quick run through of all the information, and then if you've got questions, if you just type your questions into the comments box, which should be there on your screen, towards the end we'll then take a look at them and try and answer some of your questions. So we'll do some introductions. So I'm Rob Murray, the unit leader.
I'm Katie McFarlane, one of the assistant unit leaders.
And I'm Ali Weir, I'm one of the assistant unit leaders as well.
For today we're going to touch on a number of things. So we'll do introductions to the team. We're going to talk about some of the basics for the World Jamboree. We're going to talk about the campsite itself, the application process, selection, and then we've got some experiences from people that have been there the last time. There's a number of videos, but what we'll do afterwards is we'll put all the video links down at the bottom so that you get to see those as well. So that's that. So in terms of the team, we've obviously got 3 out of 4 here, and hi Robin, when you're watching this later, we hope that you didn't have too much of a boring day at work. In terms of who we are, I am the District Commissioner for Paisley District, have been involved in a number of international experiences, including to Uganda, Danish Jamborees, to Belgium, France, and then during the summer there we took 70 people to Poland for 14 days. So that's a wee bit of background about me, and the guys are going to give a wee bit of background about themselves, and I'll tie up with Robin's experience.
I'm an assistant scout leader from Dunakan District. I've been at a couple of jamborees. I was at 2011 Jamboree in Sweden as a participant, then in Japan 2 years ago, and at the Royal Scout Jamboree as part of the international service team. I've also been a few other international events. I've been to Austria, I've been a leader on an Explorer Belt trip. I went to the Moot in Iceland this year as well, so I've had a few different experiences when I've been away.
Hi, I'm Ali. I have been a scout leader for the last 7 or 8 years. In that time, I've been to Blair Athol 3 times as a member of the staff there, running activities and doing various things. I was also in Japan at the World Jamboree with Katie in 2015. I was also part of the staff team there, doing various admin things. And then this summer, just past, I was also in Poland with Rob, taking 70 people on a kind of once in a lifetime trip to Poland. So really excited about doing it all again in 2019.
Perfect. And last but by no means least is Robin. So she is an assistant scout leader down in the wonderful town of Moffat. She has taken part in many international experiences. She was out in the Moot with Katie during the summer. Has been around the world with scouting and is a regular at Blair Athol as well. So as you can see, we've got quite a diverse team, which is great, from different parts of both regions. But one of the things that I was really keen on is that the team is 50-50 as well. So I'm really pleased that we've got gender balance, and that's going to be really important as well for selection as well. That we're representing, our unit represents the areas that we look after as well. So the basics.
So the trip is from the 22nd of July to the 2nd of August, although we'll also have travel and home hospitality included additional to that, so it'll be a trip that's roughly 3 weeks long. The Jamboree is co-hosted by Scouts of Canada, Boy Scouts of America and the Association of Scouts of Mexico. So it's the 3 countries working together to host the Jamboree. The venue is called The Summit. It is in West Virginia. It's a huge purpose-built campsite, and their theme for the Jamboree is to unlock a new world. So the programme focuses on adventure, service, sustainability and leadership.
And we would have been shown a video just now that just gives some of the key areas that Katie's just spoken about. We'll put that video up later as video 1, but it will give you a good overview of the campsite actually, but also the key areas surrounding a jamboree.
Okay, so the likely total cost, this hasn't been finalised, but the likely total cost is £3,500. Of that includes a £3,000 fee for the UK contingent and a further £500 for Scottish unit related events and various other kind of things that you'll need. That money includes all your transport to the event and while you're there. It includes your tent, your full set of uniform, it includes all the kind of UK contingent stuff, some extra kit, some extra kind of equipment that you'll need to go to the jamboree. What else does it include?
Insurance.
It includes insurance, it includes all your food and your camp fees, and it includes your travel back and forth to home hospitality while we're there. So it includes quite a lot, it's very comprehensive. The further £500 for the unit is going to cover other things, so that's our 5 pre-jamboree events that are going to be happening over the next 2 years, and it will also cover other things like we want to get a badge designed in partnership with the young people, helping us figure out a really cool badge to take to then like have on our shirts and to share with the other scouts that we meet at the jamboree. And if the young people come and want to get hoodies or neckies and things like that extra, that's going to be part of that £500. So we don't want money to be a barrier to entry. There's lots of opportunities for doing fundraising. There's lots of ways to apply for grants and corporate sponsorships and various other ways to help make up that number. There is also funds within Scouting to help support that. If you've got any kind of questions or concerns or worries or just want to have a chat about trying to get to that number to make it work, if you get in contact with Rob, you can just email him. We'll put his email address and all that stuff. All that information will be really easy to get from our Facebook page. But if you've got any questions about that, we don't want that to be a barrier. It's about how do we bring the people that are going to get the most from this event and to enjoy it the most and take away, kind of be inspired by it all. How do we take them and make sure they get to experience the jamboree? A couple other things. The scouts that come with us must be born between the 22nd of July 2001 and the 21st of July 2005. We don't have any flexibility on that. That is set at a World Scouting level. We have to make sure that everybody's between that. There's just really no flexibility there. So if you're putting in an application, please make sure that you're actually born between these dates, the 22nd of July 2001 and the 21st of July 2005. Other things, there's going to be 6 units going from Scotland. Our unit, South West and West, will have 40 people going. That's 4 leaders and 36 young people. And we hope to try and get that even split between both South West and West region, so that we can make sure that everyone from across those areas gets equal opportunity. We'll be making sure that at our selection event, everybody's getting to make their best impression, and it's not about we want to take more people from one place or one from another. It's meant to be very equal and very fair. Last thing I want to talk about is home hospitality. So, as Katie was saying, the jamboree is not just the 2 weeks on site. There's going to be lots of other stuff, time for travel and time for home hospitality. So people from our unit will go into pairs and they'll go out and stay with a family, a scouting family of scouts that were at the jamboree, either before or after the jamboree. We're not quite sure. That might be a wee bit different based on the school holidays in Scotland. So as soon as we know, we'll let you guys all know what that is. So you'll be going to stay with a family that's of the same. So if the scouts in our unit are girls, they'll be going to stay with Girl Scouts. If it's boys, they'll be staying with other boys. They go out in pairs from our unit, and and we'll be all of us will all be in the kind of similar area. So say where we won't have some people in home hospitality in Canada and some in Mexico and some in America. We're all going to be in the same area of a country, so like a state in America or something like that. So we'll be all close by and be keeping in contact all the time.
Absolutely. Just a wee quick overview on the campsite. So again, this is one where we would have shown a video, and we'll put that on the link afterwards. The campsite is absolutely massive. It has a proper bridge structure running through it. There's a couple of hills running through it. This thing is absolutely huge and has been custom built for scouting. So there's a lot of the buildings are sustainable and help look after the environment. Some of the campsites, so they're all divvied up by Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, and then Foxtrot's up at the top of the hill, so let's hope we don't get that, or we'll be losing a lot of weight. But it is a big campsite. There will be a lot of walking to go into various places. There are hospitals on the campsite. There are first aid stations. There'll be water stations. In terms of getting your food, there'll be supermarkets where we go every morning and collect all our food. The place is absolutely massive and amazing, and if you just think there's going to be between 45,000 and 50,000 people camping on that campsite, so the thing is just going to be absolutely massive. But we'll put the video up that really shows that a lot better than our description.
So the application process, there's an online application just now, it's live, it is open until the 31st of August? 30th of August, sorry. It's got a lot of points on it. The best thing to do is follow the points, answer what's been asked on it. It then goes to get a leader reference from one of your leaders, they'll fill that in themselves. And then you need to make sure you click the submit button on the application. So when you get to the end, there's one big button that says submit. You need to make sure you click it. There's some that haven't done. If that's the case, we'll get in touch with you, but that's the main thing. Make sure you go to the end and submit. You also need to email a photograph of your head and shoulders so that we can see who everyone is that's applying, just so that we've got faces to names and we know who you are. So the selection process is to identify young people who are going to benefit from this opportunity. We want to bring the people who are going to bring back these amazing experiences to other scouts across Scotland. We also want them to be ambassadors for South West and West and for UK Scouting. And we want to bring something of their experience back to enrich Scouting. So there should be a legacy beyond their own personal experience. It's not just about us, it's about the greater family of Scouting and how we can enhance their opportunities.
So, Katie touched on that a wee bit, just to expand a bit further. What are we really looking for? We're wanting Scouts that are interested in World Scouting. A huge component of the World Jamboree is meeting people from around the world, getting to know them, getting to know their culture, and learning a little bit what their life's like in their home country, and then also sharing our culture, our Scottish and our UK culture with people from around the world. It's not an activity camp, it's about getting to know people and going and learning lots of things. We're looking for people that are able to work in a team. This is going to be a really tough 2 years of work. There's going to be lots of camps, there's going to be lots of work and effort when we get to America, and when we're travelling it's going to be quite stressful, so we're looking for people that can really work well collaboratively with others, and that they're able to follow instructions. There's going to be times when we're looking to, if we ask somebody to do something, they just make it happen because we're going to be super busy, and that's really important. So people that are able to work in a team and follow instructions when they need to, but also to take the initiative and go off and get on with things and do things themselves, that's really important. Scouts with good communication skills, that all leads on from working in a team. We're going to be working together, we're going to be living together, we need to make sure that we're speaking to one another and sharing any worries, concerns, or if you need help, you're asking for it. If you're having fun, you get on with it and enjoy it and get other people involved. It's really important that we're sharing this experience both with people in our unit and others from the UK and Scouts from around the world. One of the other things we're looking for is for the Scouts that come with us to have an ability to cope with travel and being away from home for 3 weeks. It's going to be a tough trip, it's going to be amazing, there's going to be lots of highs, maybe a few lows, and so while we're away for 3 weeks we need to make sure that everybody that comes can cope with that, and that they're able to get on without maybe having contact home every day. On the campsite there will be internet available, it will be fairly limited, there'll be phone charging available, it'll be fairly limited again, so if you need to speak to your mum every day, that might not be the best place for you to be, but if you can cope for a few days and just drop her a text after 3 or 4 days, no doubt you'll manage the whole trip. So yeah, we're looking for people as well that have a commitment to Scouting. This isn't a one and done, as Katie was saying. there's a lot that people that go to the World Jamboree can bring back and share with Scouts in their local area. It can be just going and talking to the younger sections, Cubs and Beavers. It can be running events around some of the things you learned, the values that you experienced and things like that with people in your district or your region. And it's the stories and the ideas that you can bring and help incorporate back into our Scouting in this country and enrich it. So we're looking for people that have a commitment to Scouting and that are really committed to spending the next 2 years getting really involved with this rather than just treating it as a kind of camp to go to and that's it. So yeah, lots of things. So
as a sort of follow on, one of the things that we just want to emphasise quite a lot is when we're away, there's a high chance that those who are sitting exams will get their exam results, and we suspect that might be during home hospitality. So it's just to flag up that that's something that we're going to have to discuss fairly early on in terms of what people want to do around their exam results, when they want to get them, do they really want to be getting them when they're in someone else's house, or do they want to wait until we're all together? So that's just something that we want to flag up. But it ties in with this idea of it doesn't matter if you have medical conditions, be that physical or mental health, you just need to let us know about it. It was a really good question from Kilmarnock. Someone had asked if having health conditions deter you. We want to take as many people as possible that this experience will benefit from. So if we can take you, we will. So that's just something to bear in mind. So in terms of what we're not looking for, we've had quite a few applications where folk have put on their exam results, which is really great, and I'm sure your parents are proud of you and your family are proud of you. For this experience, we don't really care what exam results you got. We want to know more about you. So if you are one of these people that are really intelligent, got lots of good exams, constantly get lots of badges, that's really, really good and well done you. But for this opportunity, we're looking about you as an individual. What are you going to get most out of the experience, and what can you give to future generations of Beavers, Cubs and Scouts? What Ali was just talking about, the presentations. We're also just flagging up that if your family members are in Scouting, so if you've got mum, dad, auntie or uncle that Scouts, that's great. Thank you so much for volunteering your time to our amazing movement, but that doesn't mean you get a place automatically on the selection process. The 2 selection of 8 events are going to be based on merit. We've got a number of team building challenges, we're going to be doing some cooking, there's going to be some games, there's going to be a sort of Big Brother style interview chair because we're not doing formal interviews. There's going to be a whole range of things, and that's how we're going to base who we take to America in 2019. So thanks for volunteering, but it doesn't mean you automatically get a place. And just finally, on the things to think about, please don't worry about money. £3,500 or whatever the final amount is going to be is a lot of money, and we do appreciate that. But we really don't want money to be a barrier, and both regions have committed to helping individuals fundraise. There is a UK International Fund that you can apply for. There's some strict guidelines in terms of what they take, but that's something that we'll be able to go through with everyone. And we're going to be encouraging all the young people as possible to do fundraising. So whether that's their backpack at Morrison's in Greenock, or holding a race night, or a curry night and quiz night, they're all really good things that you guys could do to help reduce that fee. And we'll provide support as much as possible, but it's really going to be down to the participants to help raise the funds. Just before I hand over to the guys to talk a wee bit about their international experience of World Scouting, there was just a few things. So Ali mentioned the £500 or roughly that amount of money that's going to be coming to unit. I think Ali mentioned that there's going to be 5 weekends. So just to put that into perspective, the weekends are going to be in January 2018, June 2018 and then September 2018. And then we'll have another one in February 2019 and June 2019. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the spread of those 5 events. But when we do have our first get-together in January, one of the sessions that Robin's going to be running is looking at whether or not we want to meet on top of that, just as a sort of one-off day thing. We're really keen that this experience is youth-led, So you guys are going to have a big say on what we do, basically ranging from our unit badge, clothing, necky, right through to what we do when we actually get up and go. So I'm going to hand over now to Ali and Katie, who are going to explain a wee bit about their international experience. There is a couple of videos tied in with this, so again, as per the other videos, we'll put the links below so you can have a look at them.
And you?
I started my international experience. My first trip was to Austria. It was a district trip, so there was a huge group of us that went over. Following on from that, I went to Blair Athol as a participant. That was my first big international trip where we were mixed with other countries. There was a multitude of countries there. We were cooking together, living together, and it sort of gave me the flair for going to as many international trips as possible. So my next one was Sweden. That was the first Jamboree that I went to in 2011. That was as a participant. And I would say a Jamboree is a completely different experience. It's something that you don't get anywhere else. You literally live in this huge campsite in a world of its own. There's people from every country. I think we can all say, if we've been to one, that it's something you'll never experience elsewhere. It is really a once in a lifetime trip. And I've got friends that I still speak to from that trip, and then the same from Japan. I've got a lot of people that I speak to from that as well. It's just, you can't really put into words how good a Jamboree is until you've been and experienced it. And I think Ali would probably say the same from it.
Yeah, definitely. I, as I said earlier, went to Japan in 2015 as a staff member. I'd never went as a youth participant. So I got a bit of a different perspective on jamborees than maybe people who had been before as kids. I joined the service team and had a job and went to that, but the thing that sold it for me was going out onto the sub-camps and meeting all the people, all the young people from around the world, particularly working with those from Scotland and supporting them on their adventure and their journey that they were having. As they got to learn about World Scouting and meet people from all around the world. For me, it was when I went to Blair Athol in 2012, when I was 19, you just met loads and loads of people from all around the world, and they were just all so friendly and so welcoming. And it's those scouting values that we try to uphold, that you just recognise in people, and that they're really friendly and really just want to get to know you and learn a bit about you, and you can learn from them as well. And that's really what put me on the road to attending that World Jamboree in Japan. The experiences I had in Japan were amazing. It was things like, in the middle weekend they have a culture day, so all the different units set up stalls, and they invite people into their unit campsite to learn more about their country. So they'll maybe like be making food from their country, or doing dances and songs, and telling them, showing you pictures of their hometowns and all these kind of things, and you can ask them questions and they'll ask you the same. But there's just like this party atmosphere to the whole campsite that's just so unique. You just don't see this anywhere else. Literally, Katie touched on it a wee bit earlier, like they literally just build a city for 45, 50,000 people to live in for 2.5 weeks, and you just can go anywhere and you're meeting people of all walks of life. You're kind of walking down and you can just hear music blasting from Colombia, and then people with bagpipes are walking down with a full like pipe band, basically, with drums and bagpipes, and it's totally bizarre and unique. I absolutely loved it, and of course the people that I met I still speak to a lot. Some of them are very close friends, and I really value that. And I think as we've been preparing for this roadshow over the last week, we've been speaking to young people that went to Japan, other adults that went to Japan and had been to previous ones as well, and they all say the same, that that's what they really valued out of it, was those friendships they made and the things that they learned and the change of outlook and perspective on the world. I think there was one of the scouts we spoke to called Ruben, who was in North Unit, and he actually said that it's only once you're at a World Jamboree that you recognise how small the world really is, and how close we can all be if we all get behind something, these kind of shared values of scouting and peace and unity and things like that. It's amazing. We'd recommend it for all.
Absolutely. So as I said, there'll be a couple of videos that we'll put up on the link later on after this event. We're coming near to the close, so if you do have questions, the wee comment box which is there, you can click on that. and type in your question and we'll try and answer it in a few minutes. Just to sort of round off, the World Jamboree experience, as you've heard, is next to nothing. It gives young people the opportunity to get the best of scouting, and that is being able to walk around the world on throughout several points of the day, trying different foods, experiencing different cultures, but making those lasting friendships for life, and that's a big part of international scouting. And it's going to be a big part of our Jamboree journey. You know, there's going to be 40 people coming together, getting to know one another. That's 40 new friends that all participants are going to have. On top of that, there's going to be the amazing activities that the Summit Campsite has to offer. There's going to be a whole range of different cultural things that you'll get to take part on, and you'll be able to develop those skills for life and lasting adventures. So if you are interested, the deadline dates are, if you're within the West region, your application is due in by the 30th of August. Sorry about that, the 30th of August. If you're within the Southwest region, the application close date is on the 4th of September. So West region, the 30th of August, Southwest region is the 4th of September. Now we're holding 2 selection events. The first one's going to be at Lapwing Lodge on the 10th of September. That's going to be a full day event. I think we're starting about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and we'll finish about 8 o'clock at night. That's going to be a full day event. We'll send out an email to everyone that applies, but it'll basically be waist up uniform. The second event is taking place at Culzean, down in Ayrshire, and that's going to be on Sunday the 24th of September, and again that's going to be a full day event. But when everyone applies, they will get an email. They'll get an email from us just giving them some more information about the selection event and what to expect. So I think that's us, unless you guys have got anything.
If we get any kind of frequently asked questions we can give our answers to now that we haven't in the presentation, I'm sure that we've got a list somewhere.
We do.
The other thing with selection is, don't be afraid to come along. If you're on your own, that's fine. We'll be in teams working together, doing some independent work, but come along and see how it is. If you're unsure, send in your application. The selection day is there to see how you feel, see how everyone works together, but don't be worried about how the selection day is going to be. There'll be something there for everyone to do, to take part in, to try out, and it should be good days, hopefully. Yeah, the selection days are as much an interview of what the Jamboree is and who we are, as much it is for us to decide maybe who would like to join us. So it's for you as much as it is for us. Come along, put your application in if you're not sure, if you want to just find out more, and it's a day to come and meet other scouts from around your region and hang out and do stuff. So definitely put your application in, have a think and come along for the day, and that might give you the information one way or the other, whether you'd like to join us or whether you're not bothered. So, yeah.
Okay, we do actually have a question in, and it's from George. So, hi George.
Hi George.
George is basically asking that have the leaders been selected for the unit? And if not, how to get involved. So the unit leadership team, if you weren't on from the start, is basically Ali, Katie, Robin and myself, and we went through an application process back in, I think it was April for unit leaders and then June for assistant unit leaders, and that was quite a comprehensive selection process. Scouts Scotland ran that, and it was widely advertised on all their media channels. So in terms of joining this unit, that's already happened. However, and this is really important, as you've alluded to, there's something called the International Service Team, and that's what Ali was speaking about earlier. So these are a group of 18-year-olds plus, and they basically make sure the Jamboree works and that various activities go to plan, and various other things such as first aid, site services, that type of stuff. So there's, I think the UK contingent have put out a form that's notes of interest just now for anyone that's over 18, and applications are due to go out, I believe, in winter time with selection. Is it November?
Yeah.
With selection taking place early spring, which could be March, April or May, and we had a discussion about what spring means yesterday at Unit Leader Gathering. So that's how you can get involved. Once our selection's done and dusted, we'll start promoting the IST selection. I just didn't want to confuse everything, so I hope that answers your question, George. We'll do a FAQ and then we'll see if there's any other questions. So we got asked an amazing question in Kilmarnock, and that was, are there any bears on site? Which was an amazing question, and actually the only time we were asked that question. So there is a range of wildlife in West Virginia. The site services team have adequate safety procedures in place to deal with this, and a couple of our leaders were out there a few years ago and they said they heard sirens and things like that, and I just warned people that certain things were about. But the campsite is completely safe. The Boy Scouts of America they've run a number of jamborees on the summit, and they did one during the summer. And that meant that they were able to test out all their procedures and things like that. So let's have a wee look at. No problem, George.
So we've got some questions here. Colin's asking, do the kids need to bring anything special on the selection day?
We'll be sending out a letter with all the information about we'll need the form filled out for selection day. There'll be a letter detailing everything that they need to bring, so we will be outside for the day doing the selection. It will need to be appropriate clothes for outside. It's a full day event, so things like lunch you'll need to bring, but the main things are have clothes appropriate for all weathers.
Top half uniform, but yeah, other details will be in emails to follow.
We'll just do another FAQ. So what was the payment structure? So that came up quite a few times, and we're hoping to have that information available at selection weekend. My hope is that people can set up a direct debit. There's about 22 months from October to when we're going to stop the payments. So my hope is there'll be a direct debit set up that you can just put into one of the region's bank accounts, and that just makes it nice and easy. But we're keen to make the whole process as nice and easy as possible. So it might work out about £160 to £170 a month. But that payment structure will be there, and of course if you want to pay more at certain points or less at other points, we know Christmas is a challenging time for everyone, then that's fine as well. But the important thing is that we're flexible. Money cannot be a barrier to participating in scouting activities.
So one of the questions we've gotten from Colin, will the flights be from Glasgow direct or to the USA, or will they be flying via London? So this is one of these questions that we don't actually have the answer to. UK contingent organises all the travel and everything for us centrally for the whole of the UK, so that's not organised by us. They sort out all the flights, which is a great help, and what they do is they basically bulk buy all the seats that they need, and then they'll fit the units on those flights from the UK to America. The way that it was done in 2015 was that you were assigned to one of the local major hubs, so some people flew from Glasgow, some from Edinburgh, some from Manchester. It just depended on what worked. What we can say though is that when the unit is travelling, the unit will travel as a whole, the full 40 people together. It won't be split up into halves or anything, so the 40 people within our unit will all fly together, travel together, so there's no concerns about getting split up or anything like that. We'll all be on the same flights.
Cool. We'll take another FAQ. Why is the selection event not a weekend? Basically that is due to us being volunteers. So as volunteers we have work, we have families, and we all do other things within scouting as well. So because we cover two regions, we wanted to get the best opportunity to spend as much time with young people as possible, but taking into consideration that we do have other things on the go. Katie's put a lot of work into the selection programme, and we're really confident that the right people will go to the selection. They're going to be full days, so it's going to be absolutely amazing. So please don't worry about that. Do you have another question?
When will the kids know if they've been selected? So we've got the 2 selections. It will be after both of the selections have taken place that we'll then be notifying young people if they've been selected. So that'll be the end of September, beginning of October time.
End of September.
End of September, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's as soon as we can possibly let them know. We need to wait till we've done both selections, seen everybody that's wanting to apply for the unit, and then we'll be able to notify young people of the selection if they've been successful in selection. So
Yeah. For us, it's super important that this is fair for everyone across both regions, that they get the best opportunity to put their best foot forward and present themselves as super enthusiastic and really excited and they want to go. So we'll be making sure that no selections are made until everyone has done their selection event, which is good.
Okay, George has asked another question about can leaders observe the selection weekends? If any leaders do want to observe the selection weekends, just drop me an email and we can have a wee chat about it. So my email is going to be on the screen because I can't remember it just now, but we'll put it up as a point later. I'm happy to be as flexible as possible. We also got to remember, especially in the West, that the Malaysia selection's happening as well, and we just need to watch our numbers a wee bit. But if you drop me a wee email, then we can take it from there. Apparently we have someone from Romania watching, so hi and welcome. Do we have any more questions?
they're saying, is it a yes or a no if they've been decided, or is it just people being told yes? We will let the young people know if they've not been selected, so everyone will find out on the same day whether they've been selected or not selected, but they'll definitely hear from us.
Yeah, and as part of the information as well, we'll have a reserve list, so we'll also let the small group of people that are on the reserve list know as well, so that'll be part of the information, but everyone will get a communication from us, because it's only fair if you're applying for something and come to selection that you find out whether you're getting it or not. It wouldn't be very fair afterwards.
Another one from the FAQ?
Yeah, FAQ. Will there be police checks for the home hospitality parents? Yes, we've checked this, and its rules are under World Scouting. And tied in with that, there was a question about will we know in advance where Ho is. We hope so. Certainly that's happened in previous jamborees. How in advance is another question that we don't know the answer to. Are there any other questions?
None so far, no.
Okay.
There was a message here about kilts and uniforms, didn't that one? So the question was, do the scouts wear kilts or do the scouts wear full scout uniform? The Scottish full uniform is kilts, so your scout shirt, your necky, and a kilt, socks, walking boots or walking shoes. For girls, no socks, or socks if they want, do what they like. So yeah, kilts will be expecting all the scouts in our unit to be wearing kilts. They don't need to be family heirlooms or super expensive. For an example, I spent £30 on the kilt that I took to the World Jamboree the last time. It was a nice lightweight one because of the temperature. The temperature's going to be quite high. It was in Japan, it will be again in West Virginia. So it's definitely worth looking at that and making sure that you've got one that's kind of nice and comfortable that you can travel in and sit in for long hours.
Yeah. And just to confirm, for kilt, socks and flashes, it is Love It Green and nothing else. We will not be taking any young people that turn up to the airport in pink, blue, red, black, white kilt socks. It's in the flashes, it's Love It Green, and the Scout shop in Glasgow do sell those, but we might do a bulk order at some point.
And we do have between now and then to let the young people get their uniform organised. People will be changing sizes. We know they might not necessarily have a kilt right at this minute, but by the time we go, hopefully that everyone will be able to have their full uniform, and that will just be part of what we travel in, what we wear while we're there. I know from my Jamboree experience, I had my kilt on a lot of the time. It's a good way of representing that we're Scottish and good representation of where we're from. And people always want to come and ask you about them, want to try them on. People have brought spare kilts as well, smaller kilts, for other people to try on or to swap for things. So it is a really important thing to have.
Okay, we've got a question here. If young people miss out on the World Jamboree and go on the standby list, what about Malaysia and committing to that? That will be a personal choice. I don't want to speak on behalf of West Region, but I would imagine that if someone's not selected, someone's not given a yes for the World Jamboree, and they are given a place on Malaysia, Malaysia will be expecting them to commit to that. But as I said, I don't want to speak on behalf of the region, but certainly at the selection weekend you should ask that question, because we're going to do a Q&A type thing as well. So do ask that at selection, and Stephen, who's the regional commissioner, will be able to answer that. We've had a question about food allergies. I have a lot of food allergies. Will this be a problem? Ali, do you want to talk about that?
Yep. So the at the World Jamboree is obviously people from all around the world, different not just food intolerances or allergies, but also cultural diets, religious diets. So they cater to that a lot. The World Jamboree in America in 2019 is going to run on a supermarket system. So every morning, people from our unit there'll be a decision made about what we want to eat. They'll be given a kind of pre-topped up card, and they can just go to the supermarket and buy the food for the unit, and they can bring that back and we cook it and prepare it. So we do all of our kind of meals and stuff like that on our within our unit, within just our team of 40, so that we can cater for any any kind of particular food allergies and things like that. So yeah, you get to go and do supermarket sweep. Robin, who is the other unit leader that's not here today, she said that in the Moot in Iceland, what they actually had was this massive aisle that just had all the separated foods for different kind of allergies and things like that, or intolerances. So there was like the gluten-free section, there was the nut-free section, and all that kind of stuff, and it was all translated into English. And obviously in America we're English to begin with, but it clears up any concerns about, oh, does this have nuts, so it's weird foreign food that they're not sure about. So they cater for it, they make it super easy for us, and make sure that no issues will hopefully occur. That's
and
good.
as long as it's on your forms that you're submitting to us, we'll be aware of it as well, and we'll ensure that everyone's catered for. So as long as we know about it, we can put in everything we can in place to help them.
Absolutely. We've had a question through the messenger about the around the training camps. So we said there'd be 5 training camps. The first one's actually going to be in January. It's the first weekend in January 2018. That'll be indoors. We're then going away in June for the weekend. Then again in September, and then when we get into 2019, it'll be February, June, and then Hey Presto, we're in America. So 2 of those events are going to be with every unit across Scotland. We'll be coming together. I think we'd said Megarney and Fordell Firs. So you'll get to meet who else is going from across Scotland, and the other 3 will just be us, which will be pretty cool. And you guys will have a big say on how those events are run and things like that, which is good. So that's the weekends. On top of that, if people want to get together in between times, then that's something we can look at doing. We do just have to take into consideration the geography, because our unit covers Argyll and Bute right down to Dumfries and Galloway, which is massive, so we just need to take that into consideration. But I think we'd be quite keen to do a sort of maybe day thing up in Glasgow or something like that, which is fairly easy for everyone to get to, and do a Christmas market. But that's something we'll chat to everyone nearer the time. So, any more questions? What's this? Fundraising. Yes, fundraising. That will be the responsibility of participants. We'll be asking participants to put together fundraising ideas. We'll provide support but we're not running any for the unit. That's the responsibility of the young people, but also the regions are committed to helping as well. But if people are running backpacks or race nights or something like that, we can provide some help for that. I know, for example, we did a sort of quiz and curry night a few months ago. We had about 200 odd folk there, and it raised over £4,500, which is a massive amount of money. So there's things like that you can do. There's backpacking, there's bake sales.
Kayleys, taking things into school to sell, having a stall at Christmas markets, car boot sales. There's 101 different ways, and it's a lot easier to do once you get into the swing of it. And if you can pair up with other people that are going, it makes it quite easy, and it's a really good way of helping out that total cost that's going towards the jamboree.
Perfect. Okay, we've got 6 minutes to go, but I'm not going to drag this on if we need to. Are there any other questions on the... No.
I think we've got
No more came in.
Nothing come in.
last minute questions. Post them now or forever. Just email us later.
I'm just looking through FAQs. Covered that. Will our young people be required to have a visa? So this is stuff that we'll go over post-election, but it was asked a few times. To the best of our knowledge, if you are a British citizen, that you'll not be required to obtain a visa, as our travel is under 90 days. If you're not a British citizen, so we are well aware that Scotland's really diverse, which is what makes Scotland such an amazing place, and we have a lot of Europeans here. We just suggest that you speak to your embassy and consular services just to get an update from them. But on the World Jamboree website, there is a question about access to the campsite, and they do have a letter from the US government saying that because this is a World Scouting event, people will be welcome into where the campsite is. So that's there. And sort of tied into the legal side of things, a question's been asked a few times about health and care and how it's so expensive out in America. As Ali said, as part of the £3,000 fee, you'll get insurance. Now, we don't know yet who that insurance is going to be. I expect that will be with Unity Insurance, which is a UK scout insurer. They provide insurance for all sorts of scouting activities, and they get scouting, so they know the weird and wacky, adventurous stuff that we get up to. So our hope is that it'll be through that, and I'm pretty sure they'll be quite good at sorting all that out. Have we had any more questions through?
I don't think so. I think we're covering all bases with
Excellent.
Answering.
This is fab. Right, well, it's a Sunday afternoon, so thank you everyone. You've been keeping us entertained, seeing how many people are joining and some of the questions, and it's great that we had someone join us for Romania. We hope you enjoyed hearing about the World Jamboree in the southwest and west of Scotland. Just another reminder, the closing dates, if you're in the West region, it's the 30th of August. If you're in the Southwest region, it's the 4th of September. They're two really important dates. Please make sure you hit the big button at the bottom of the application form that says submit. If you don't, you will have to fill it out again. It's really important that you hit submit, and it's really important you send the head and shoulders photo with no sunglasses, no hats on, to my email address, and that your leaders also fill out your reference by an online photograph and complete the reference as well. Yeah, that's really good for that. World Jamboree is an amazing opportunity. You've heard a lot from our amazing team, minus Robin, who's sadly working. We hope you really consider applying for the World Jamboree. We'll put FAQs up over the next week. We've got an email distribution that goes out to all those that have noted interest, district commissioners, district Explorer Scout commissioners, regional commissioners, and also ADC Scouts. And it's really important that they pass that on to section leaders as well, so that they can then pass it to young people. But we'll put all the information you need on there and some of the videos as well. So thank you very much for joining. Enjoy your Sunday.
Cheers.